I'm Colin, and I'm in Cairns to show you the work of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Police Liaison Officers and some of the social issues connected with their work.
As you're well aware, we've had a fairly checkered history from the time of settlement, and things have not always been as they should be. There's never been a really harmonious or amicable relationship between police and the Indigenous communities. However, today things are looking a lot more better. They've got some positive initiatives in place, and when I say that, I refer particularly to putting the police liaison officers, employing them in the service, that they are the link between the Queensland Police Service and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities. They've done much. They've been very successful, and they've done a lot of good work in enhancing relationships between the police and their own community, and not only their own community but the wider communities. The relationship between the authorities, namely police and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, has never been the best, and there's always been a grave mistrust of the Indigenous people towards police.
I'm quite pleased at the way the liaison people are working here in Cairns. We've got 19 in the region. In Cairns itself, they're largely working now from the new police shop front down on the Esplanade, and I think that's their role. There's a tendency on behalf of the police to use them in roles that they weren't really designed for. In other words, they're putting them into CI branch and all the other specialist little areas, and they're getting away from their liaison role. And really, I think they should be, more as a buffer, I think, between the sworn police, that's the white police, and their own people.
The diversionary centres now are set up so that they're taken away to avoid deaths in custody, which has happened in the past, and to be able to divert them from the watch house to places like Barma Healing.
So it's really a process of not charging people for an offence of being drunk in a public place. It's taking people away from that justice system altogether.
Well, it's more, I think, to get away from the deaths in custody which has occurred.
Okay, then it's okay, I'll check back later on. See you later.
They're brought in here, and they stay here for the night or a couple of hours, and then if they don't want to stay here, it is their rights that they can be released back out into the streets again. So they can only be held here for a couple of hours.
Come along, it's okay. I'm not going. Come on. No, just give us a hand there, Roy. Settle down, come on.
If there's anyone that the street workers from Barma find that they need clinical or medical assistance, then either the staff from Barma or the PLOs, which are the police liaison officers, of course, take them to the hospital. If Barma, because of lack of fundings, has not been able to operate in a efficient way, and it would also take a lot of pressure off the police and the police liaison officers, because most of their 8-hour shifts are used up by just picking up the displaced or the homeless people on the streets.
Roy, how do the police liaison officers use Water Street?
Yeah, on our patrol, when we come across homeless persons, we actually direct them to Water Street for the first meal of the day. Morning is their main meal. They get served here from Water Street, and in the afternoons they take extra from breakfast. They carry them through the day.
Water Street came about because we first started serving meals in the park. We first started serving meals in the park because we were having a death every month or every 6 weeks. And we decided we would try and put some food in their belly before they started drinking it. So we decided we were offered X amount of money to kick a breakfast off. And we decided we'd put it on at 7 o'clock, which was the earliest we could possibly do it, so we could try and get them before they started their drink, and they'd have a meal, and then perhaps it would cut their drinking down for a little while during the day. So then, after a little while, we got some funding and to come into Water Street of a house. Now, we not only give them a meal, we can provide a towel and soap and a washing machine and a dryer, so we can give them a bath. They can wash their clothes and dry them and wear clean clothes and be clean themselves every day instead of just sleeping around in the same clothes all the time.
How is Water Street funded, Kevin?
We're funded through SAP. We're funded through SAP for meals and meals only, and wages for one caretaker here, but I get nothing for extra water rates. I get nothing for light, electricity, phone. I get, because we use the phone to ring ambulances or ring the police or ring anyone if they come here and they're sick. We get an ambulance for them. And we're in an ambulance service. We pay for an ambulance service, so all ambulances for us are free. And we ring and take them to the hospital and all of those things. So we get nothing for the phone, we get nothing for electricity, excess water, nothing for towels, soap or any of those things. I'm provided money for food and food only.
Part of the role of the police liaison officers is speaking with people of all age groups, identifying young people at risk, and often, if there is a problem, an option exercised by the police liaison officer is to take the young people home and speak with the parents.
Okay. Up on your feet, mate. Can I know you? Can I know you?
No, what?
When I saw you this morning?
Oh, no.
No. What have you been up to today?
I'm sitting my mum's bagel.
Okay, mate. Now I'll get you to wait here. All right. We're now calling up state officers. Come and have a talk with you over this incident.
Mobile 3 to Kent. We have some backup here, thanks.
Last year, we had a 35% increase in the number of clients that we're getting through. That's on criminal cases only. There is across the board increase in all our crimes, but I think just lately there's juvenile crime has been rising up. I think the police or something is paying special attention to juveniles.
Tony, what does the legal service do when a person is arrested and placed in the watch house?
Well, our procedures are here that if someone is arrested, we have a mobile telephone service that we can get a field officer there straight away, especially on the more serious crimes. Otherwise, we speak, if they've been arrested, we speak with them in the morning. We get our field officers to speak with them, and then the field officers then relay, everything to the solicitors for when they get representation in court.
You know why you're here? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you want me to contact any family members?
Yeah, my brother.
I hereby make an order that you enter into a community service program where you will undertake 100 hours of supervised service.
Kids like they call him, we got on.
As you know, this is a 6-month training and reform program for young offenders, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander young offenders. And we've been going for about close on 4 months, I suppose, 16 to 18 weeks. And we're up here at Silver Valley, Ravenshoe. Camped up here, we've been camping across communities, and the program is shared across communities, across Aboriginal communities. And we've been using places like Clump Mountain. We started off with Clump Mountain, Camu at Cardwell, up to Silver Valley, Ravenshoe and out to Pedford. So those 4 organisations have been working together to help deliver this program. And it's got the involvement of traditional elders from most of the areas. Traditional elders are involved. And it's specific to the culture of that area. So we do Aboriginal rainforest culture, we do Aboriginal outback culture. They do a lot of formal training on this one as well. It's a program that's been purposely balanced between cultural training and personal development and formal training. So in all they'll be doing between 300 and 400 hours formal training. That's going to be accredited through TAFE, as well as they'll be doing the important stuff. And even though TAFE are calling it informal, we see it as really important to the success of the program is that this cultural-based program, this cultural-based training, because that cultural-based training, like I said before, is reaching within these boys, and it's from within these boys that the answers are. You can't keep pushing things on the outside of these young fellas, right? You have to turn them inside out and bring that good stuff from within.
I myself, as an Aboriginal, I'm part Aboriginal and part Islander. And I myself, I am a little bit lost. I don't know my cultures fully. And with my job, I didn't have a real sort of understanding of my people, of their feelings.
For once, we were taught to be ashamed, Murray, you know. We were taught to be ashamed to be black, you know. These boys, they're walking around so proud, you know. Proud to be Murray, proud to be Aboriginal. Look at the things that I can teach you. Teach you white fellas. I can teach you things that you never knew. And the reality is that alcohol and drug abuse is the biggest issue facing Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Because that is clouding our minds and our vision, and it's really disempowering our people, you know, because we got a lot of talent. Murray got a lot of talent out in that community. You know it. You artists, you got songwriters, you got dancers, you got people who can put these type of programs together, you know, and you got people out there with answers to these problems.
I've been in the homes where the mother's either under influence or the father, or there'll be a fight or something and the kids go and everywhere, and they're frightened to go home. So they've got to do something, got to survive, so first thing they do is get into trouble. But if that love is there from the start, you know, they can feel if you really need them, if you really want them, I mean to say. If you care for that, they know, as big as they are. Even yourself would know that. If someone didn't like you, you would know. Eh? Then that's the thing I try to show these boys, you know. First show them that you care for them. Eh? Doesn't matter how they carry on. And you'll win them around.
What seems to be happening is that we're going like this. White fella's going this way and Murray going this way. Because Murray has to go this way. He has to go back to his roots, back to his history, you know. And white fella going this way still. Someone has to be able to link this thing up, you know. And I think that should be a role of the liaison officers. But Aboriginal liaison officers should be liaising with Aboriginal community. Not just out there doing police work, you know. And I know back in our own town, back in Innisfail, that's all. The young fellas see them Murray policemen as another policeman, you know. And they're talking about things like black tracker days, where they were the most hated people in the community because they were the deadliest Murrays too. They got the best of the Murrays to track down other Murrays. But this thing, it's gone nearly the same way because the Aboriginal community weren't involved in the role they should play. It's been directed by the police all the way through, and it still is, you know. For instance, I don't believe they should be in uniform, you know. I don't believe they should be in uniform. Uniform is a bad thing for me. That's just my personal belief. Not everyone might think that.
From the outset, that there was pretty much a tug of war, if you want to call it that, from our community out there wanting to take on and have full ownership of them. But of course, as you say, and it is acknowledged that yes, they are employees of the Queensland Police Service. So the ground rules are there that we direct them in their day-to-day duties out there in the community, what they should do and what they shouldn't do. It must come down to the down the line to the supervisors that supervise them out there that they should ensure that they're not misused and that they provide that service to the community without in any way alienating themselves from their own community, because they do, after all, have to live there. It is a very fine line to walk, and I think it's pretty much a difficult balancing act, if I can say that, in that they come from the community out there, and of course the views are held and given history, that the communities out there look upon the blue uniform as being that of the enemy, and that's the way it's been down through our history. So they do have a difficult task, and I think that should be taken on board. You know, at the more senior level, in acknowledging that that they do have a difficult role to fulfil, and that they should be given every possible support.
There's got to be consultation with the Aboriginal people themselves, and not simply academics or the police themselves saying, well, this is the role of the liaison officer. It's got to be in consultation, and largely we've got to take serious note of what the Aboriginal people are saying. This is the role we want them to play. I don't know whether we've done that too well in the past.
I've got a problem with uniform, you know. But there's some good people in them uniforms, like I said before. They need to be given the opportunity to get out of them uniform too, and be who they really are. And they're there because they believe that they can do a good service for the Aboriginal community, and that there needs to be some bridge building. Well, I hope that's why they're there. I think you find the majority of them are there, and they're good people, but they need to be given the real opportunity. Otherwise, they need to say that's not good enough for what we're trying to do. No, that's not good enough. Perhaps we should go back and start again and identify what the real role of a liaison officer should be.
To establish an elders justice network throughout the peninsula, the Gulf and the tablelands across the Yarrabah.
And the sorts of issues you'll be looking at?
What we want to do is to bring back the respect for the elders that is lost and fast being lost by our young people. And when I say young people, people up to the age of 40. And so if we're not going to get this respect back for the elders like it used to be in the traditional ways, we will be just like the rest of the people in Australia.
So it's this loss of culture and the loss of traditional law that seems to be worrying the people at this point.
Yes, and there's another area which is also contributing to this loss, and that's the present education system, which is taking away our language and culture, our heritage and this and that. What we need to do is really also look at the education system and really put into place what is appropriate.
You're talking about healing of the spirit of people.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's generational stuff. That goes from this generation to the next generation to the next generation.
You've got ingrained prejudices, right? Yes. How do we overcome those? And probably that's got to be addressed at the academy level. It's probably got to be addressed even at my level. All right? Yes. And that's not an easy thing to do. You know, it's an education process.
Do you see our present police liaison officer scheme playing a part in this working together?
I think that's a wonderful scheme. It needs to be assisted in all possible ways to make sure that the ultimate result of getting nothing but the best service to the communities is achieved. The community police were given sufficient training to make them skilled enough to carry out their duties efficiently, effectively, and promptly. And the second issue that was raised at the workshop was the need to begin to find out some of the areas where both the state police and the community police are not working together, so that we can begin to set into process a scheme which will allow for both parties to work smoothly for the common good of the people.
The young are our future, and yet our old ones are sort of dying out now, and it's appropriate that we get this program going.
It's important that the government starts responding properly. They're trying to respond to the recommendation of the Royal Commission of Aboriginal Deaths in Custody, which identified that it's the community is where they got to go for the answers. But it just seems to me that they go to the community, all right. The community puts up initiatives and pilot opportunities, pilot ideas, and before you know it, those ideas are taken from us, and somebody else is running with them, you know. And we're all tired of that. We don't see that happen no longer. I think we've proved beyond doubt that these programs can be run by a community successfully with the cooperation of government, like state government agencies like TAFE and corrective services and Devatir. Devatir's been really good coming to the party, you know. I think it's a wonderful initiative.